Hello everybody, welcome to our today's pop-up session. And as you can see, just a few days ago we have been at the World of Coffee in Copenhagen. Now we're back here at Probat, and as usually when it comes to a topic like green beans or roasting, I got with me today my all-time go-to partner Ivana, and we will speak about green beans and roasting, of course, and mostly we do get the questions from people that come here attending our training classes, how to choose the green beans. So in the beginning, of course, they don't really know what to do and what to choose and what to buy. And do you have a recommendation for them, how to get started? What would be the first attempt that they have to do?
Yeah, the first step, in my opinion, is decide on what is the preparation style, what is my market, so whom do I want to drink this coffee? So on this, you have then to decide, should it be a commercial coffee or a specialty grade you need to buy? For the preparation style, when you decided on one preparation style like espresso roast, then you have to decide how to roast the coffee, because for espresso you roast differently. Then for a filter coffee, you roast differently depending on the sort of coffee you decide on. This is then, these are the first steps.
So you actually kind of go from backwards and then you work your way to deciding for what should be the green bean. Because usually also just looking at our customers coming from worldwide, if we talk filter, if we talk espresso, this is not the same everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. So it's depending on the markets. If you're in Asia, located in Asia, or in America or in Europe, even in Europe, depending on the cultural development, an espresso can be different than in Italy than an espresso in Germany.
Yeah, true.
And so you have to know your market.
Mm-hmm. And depending on what should be in the cup in terms of flavor, for sure, this is also super interesting then. And you don't choose your green beans just because another roaster has those green beans. You have to actually make the decision depending on what would you like to have in your cup to give it to your customer.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So maybe you even decide, I want to have a 100% Arabica, or I want to have a blend between Arabica or Robusta. Mm-hmm. So this is the first decision you have to make.
Okay. And for sure also there is some characteristics we need to speak about, not only the flavor that I can find in the beans after I roast them, but of course also there's some other characteristics we need to take care of. Could you just mention for our audience what would be the most important characteristics according to your view?
Yeah, first of all, of course, right at the start you decide for Arabica or Robusta, or if you want to have a blend. But then in the next step you need to select the origins. Mm-hmm. Maybe a certain cup characteristic you want to have. Yeah, and depending on the origins, maybe some variantals will be important in this area. Then what's also important, is it a fresh crop? Is it a older harvest? Mm-hmm. Also there the characteristics shift from harvest to harvest, of course. And also the coffee ages. Yeah, so it changes throughout the storage, mm-hmm. Not only in moisture but also in the cup profile.
Yeah, and this for sure has then an influence on the roasting profile. How do I attempt my roasting time? What color do I look for in my roast? And there's a lot of different things that we have to take care of. The density which comes with the altitude the coffee grows in. Mm-hmm. So a lot of information that we get, and mostly when people come to my classes, I tell them, well, I don't have all the information, and especially when we speak about preparation methods. So this is also one super interesting point. And usually what we then say that we talk about the both outer ends, the very dry preparation method, and also, of course, the one which is the wet preparation. That's a complicated word. But also here, of course, there's some more insights. And being at the World of Coffee, of course, we met experts to these topics. And the first people we met were from Lister Beisler, and they told us a lot about the preparation methods on the plantation. So here we go. Please watch the first video. So, hi everybody. We're here today, as you can see, at the World of Coffee in Copenhagen. And as green beans is super duper important when you decide on your roasting profiles, we do have some questions. And of course we have here the experts today. But before we get started with their opinion on the green beans and what's going on the plantation, of course I'm going to hand over to Ivana real quick, and she will enlighten you what we do know about the green beans so far, and we're going to change that a little bit more today.
Thank you. So usually when we have our courses, we talk about natural process, washed processed coffees, and how to create a roast profile for these kind of coffees. But of course, there's a lot of different preparation styles in between these two extremes, and I think our experts can say something about that. Please.
Hello, my name is Piotr. I'm coffee trader by Lister Beisler. Happy to be here, share some experiences and knowledge.
Hello, also from my side, my name is Katrina and I'm responsible for the education and training department with Lister Beisler, and yeah, thanks guys for having us. So would you like to continue first?
So when people turn to you and they ask you what are the trends, what is the differences in certain preparation methods on the plantation, you guys have far more experience than we do. I just heard you travel a lot, Piotr, and yeah, maybe you can share some of the experience and some of what you see and what's going on so far, the trends, and just give us some more input so our customers know how to treat the beans in the roaster.
So I think it's quite a wide topic to talk about. So I will just share some points, some ideas. What I see, it's like more and more small farmers are interested in doing special processes, generally speaking. And I think also the knowledge now can be shared much easier between countries, between education centers. And I see when I travel, even I'm going quite a lot to Asia, I'm buying India, even in that countries, people learning from other origins how to do some special processes. This is something I see a lot of passion and a lot of exchange of knowledge. The second point comes to my mind, like maybe Kata can tell more about some processes. One to comes to my mind with it's one popular we have lately, and I see it quite a lot, which is Mosto process. I don't know if you heard about it. It's using like a juice from previous fermentation of coffee cherries, ripe coffee cherries, in the next fermentation of another coffee, which is having a good impact on how the fermentation is going and giving much more fruity notes, some buzzy body and fancy flavors. And sometimes even it's a different variety, like geisha mosto used in fermentation of another coffee. This is something that we see quite a lot, especially in Colombia. Then, well, many things. Also, some temperature impact on fermentation, temperature shock, which is like playing with going from very low temperature to very high temperature during the process, which also has impact on the flavor. I will leave it here because Kata also needs to add some.
I just have a question, especially to that what you just said, because I experienced when I was in Colombia, they gave me a coffee, and for me, I was super certain it could have been also Ethiopia. So all of the characteristics we know from certain countries, they are not true anymore, because with the preparation method, they're going to change, and it has super much impact on the flavor. So this is also something super interesting for the people roasting the coffee. Maybe you can say some more about the trends and what's going on.
So I think one trend that we currently also see and have a lot on our cupping table at List and Weissler is the mosto thing, which comes from the Spanish word. And again, they're going to reuse from previous fermentation processes the water, which is like full of sugars and everything, so that automatically has a huge impact on the flavor. The other thing are like additives in general. So additives rely on co-fermentation processed coffees. That means that they're gonna add like either fruits, for example, or yeasts, or sometimes even spices, or also hops. And then, this is going to lead to I really have to say, crazy flavors I have not experienced so far. And but we see that coming more often. And sometimes we kind of wonder what we feel on our tongues, and it's a little bit hard to believe that this comes, just naturally. So we see, like, if you have really strong lavendel flavors, or even lychee-like things, which are really, really super interesting, but we feel at the same side that there's a little bit lack of, let's say, transparency sometimes of how they're going to declare the process that has been applied to the coffee. So, and I think that's a very, very important point, because we are also talking about declaration of, allergens, stuff like this. And and also, again, it has a very huge impact on the roasting. So, we are really excited to see what we're going to have next on the table. But again, we as traders, I think we really owe that transparency also to our customers, to our roasteries, and to explain what really has happened in detail. So we see that we, quite a lot of times have to ask for more information, more details, and
I just wanted to add, coming from returning to your question, yes, you are right that now it could be more and more difficult sometimes to differentiate, if you go to some origin, if it's really the characteristic of that origin. And you can have also varieties taken from Ethiopia which are cultivated in other countries. Even now, I saw that now in Indonesia, which normally is related with some wet hull process, but they are doing now special processes with some varieties they take from other parts. So you would never say it's Indonesia, so I think this is also changing, as you are saying, like the very typical characteristic of country. In micro lots, it's sometimes you can find some crazy flavors in countries you would never think it's coming from. So I think it's.
Well, cool. Thank you so much for the input. And of course, if you want to know more and you need to get some advice on the coffee, how's it processed and what does that do to the flavor, you can easily turn to them and ask. So don't feel afraid to go and have the contact. And we of course are very much looking forward to hear some more, learn some more, and give also the information to the people roasting the coffee, because this is what you need to know when creating a roasting recipe. And with this, we say bye-bye.
So, thanks again to our friends from List and Weissler, Piotr and Katarina. So sorry for the bad sound. Unfortunately, this was recorded not live, but in one shot at a trade show, so the sound might be a little bit bad, also for the other videos. What I wanted to add this discussion was also, you need to know your cup profile. You need to know what exactly does your coffee taste like, and this is highly influenced by the preparation style of the green bean before. And when you know your cup profile, then you can go and develop your roast profile as well. Important is to bring out the cup characteristics which belong to the coffee, and don't roast them away, because this is also possible. You can roast away any kind of characteristic the coffee has, and the coffee in the end tastes, all coffees taste the same. Sorry for my voice.
From-
Yeah, and besides the preparation style, another topic in regard of green beans is also the varieties. Yeah, so you of course have different origins, you have different sorts of coffees, but also the variety influences the taste together with the preparation styles. So we also met Adriana from Cafe Imports Europe and had a discussion with her about varieties. And this is the video you will see now.
So here we are with Adriana from Coffee Imports Europe. And Adriana, we have, of course, questions that we, especially me, often cannot answer. A lot of our customers, they want to know more about varieties. So is there anything special that you can tell us about it now? Is there something to not make it too complicated, but so that we get a little bit more insights on the topic?
Okay, thank you for having me, Daniela. It's really great to be here. Always a pleasure to be with Probat. Yeah, actually right now is a fantastic season because it's Kenya season. So we are excited because our container of microlots is currently at harbor and unloaded pretty much as we speak. And what we see when it comes to Kenyan coffees is that people are always asking for jammy, blackcurrant, blackberry cup profiles. I know that's your favorite. But nowadays the profiles from Kenya have actually shifted quite a bit. So now it's a little bit more tropical fruit, citrus, blood orange, molasses, panela, and it's just also super popular. But people, especially people who have been in specialty coffee for over a decade, probably 15 years, like I, they are still asking for jammy coffees, like this blackcurrant profile, and they don't understand why it's not there anymore. And that's due to the variety. So obviously there is typicities in coffee that are caused by terroir, but varieties play a very big role in how a coffee tastes. So the cup profile changed over the years because SL28 and SL34, which are two very popular Kenyan varieties who are responsible for those flavor profiles that people are seeking, they are not very resistant to coffee leaf rust and to coffee berry diseases. And farmers obviously need to make sure that they can actually provide a harvest. And so they have, over the years, started to go for more resistant varieties. So there is a variety by the name of Batian, by example, and Ruiru 11, and they also provide great profiles, but they are not as much of the coffee taste that people are seeking. And so there is a shift when it comes to taste, and those are caused by the varieties.
Super interesting. Because this is, of course, what people want to know then, and what they are wondering about.
Yeah, so that the origin is not tasteable anymore like it was in the past.
Well, it changed. So I think also our taste buds change the more we taste and the more we get used to something. But we clearly see, so we at Cafe Imports, our sensory team, they taste over 6,000 cups of coffee per year. And so we have a very good track record of what coffee tasted 15 years ago, even like 30 years ago. And so we do see a huge change in those very popular origins like Kenya. And talking about Kenya because it's Kenyan season.
Yes. And this is, of course, then super important for also new people to come in, because they might have been in touch with people who are roasting for longer, and then they're looking exactly for this, maybe without even asking. They're just blindly buying it, and then all of a sudden they get something different.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of my job, to be able to talk to people and to share this, because I understand. I also love those profiles, and the variety is still there. So the variety SL28, by example, it's a Kenyan variety, but it also has been taken to Costa Rica. So you can also find coffees there now, but yeah, if you look for Kenyan coffees, you might need to understand that profiles have shifted a bit.
Yeah, true. If you want to dig into that much deeper, make sure to get in touch with Adriana or the team from Coffee Imports Europe, because they can tell you much more about it. And please make sure to ask every question that you have in mind. Thank you, Adriana.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
So we just got a little feedback from our man behind the monitor, Simon. And when you're watching us via Instagram, of course, Ilvana and me, we have been there, but you don't see us, you only hear us. So this is pretty funny for us to watch now, because we only see the people we talk to. And this was already quite some deep dive into varieties, into green beans. Usually when you get started with your roasting business, this is probably not that much information that you need right from the beginning. From the beginning, you need more to have that conversation with the green bean trader. Again, complicated word combination for me today. And when you ask us which green beans to take, of course, our sources are quite limited in our showroom. As you can see behind me, there is not that many different green beans. But we can only recommend you turn to the green coffee traders, go there, get to meet them, and how a first contact actually could happen and what will be done. This is something that will be presented to you by Luana and Lena from Inter-American. So please enjoy the next video.
So we're back from the Robot booth, and today we have our guests from Inter-American, Lena and Luana. And we have the question, how do you support our customers, your customers, in the decision of how should they decide on which coffee and what are the options?
Thanks for having us here, first of all. I think the question was for beginners or for new customers.
Beginners, but also...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the first question is, do they already know if they want to start with single origins, if it's blends, do they already have an idea if it's espresso or if they want to do Robusta Arabica? Yes, so most of the times we try to have them at our cupping room to have a personal touch with them and cup the coffees together, because cupping together is more easier to decide on qualities.
In the end, it's people's business, and our first step is pretty much understanding our customer, building a connection, showing them who we are, what's important for us. Normally we start, if the customer doesn't have any approach yet, we start with a broad range of our assortment, so from Brazil to Uganda, Robusta.
Commercial, specialty, everything.
Yeah. And for us in quality, in that case, it's important to explain where does the bean come from, where are the differences between the different varieties, between the different origins, which are typical profiles, and in that case then we are supported by our trade team.
Also, at the beginning we asked if they wanted to conventional coffees, or if they already have an idea they want to only do certified coffees, if it's organic, whatever. We give that information to the quality team so they can arrange the varieties of the commercials or specialties, conventional.
So it's really just a team effort in that case then to communicate within our team to enable a good first approach with each other. And from there on, we try to adapt to our customers the best way possible. So upcoming meetings, upcoming sample dispatches to our clients, we try to adapt to them.
Also logistic-wise, if they want to pick up the coffee themselves. Most of them have no idea how to get the coffee from the warehouse to the roastery. Do we pick it up? Do we pay in cash at the warehouse? How does it work? It's like crazy questions sometimes, but that's what we're here for, and we always like to support.
So we enjoy that.
Yes, that's fun.
That's
always the funniest.
It really is that way, because you just get to meet new people and also see a different approach to coffee. Because coffee can be seen in very different ways, and I think it's one of the more enjoyable parts of our work to just meet people, get to know people,
And everybody has
mingle.
their own idea, and everybody looks on the coffee from their own side. And of course, also price-wise, they need to get a recommendation.
Price-wise, culture-wise
Yes,
also.
definitely. Which coffee is selling in Emmerich, which coffee is selling in Berlin. So this is completely different. And a lot of our new customers, they kind of are afraid to call you because it's like, oh yeah, but we're so small and we just get started, and you're the big guys. And then we always tell them, no, go ahead, please make contact. It's just super nice people. They have so much more knowledge than we do. Because of course, we also do know something.
Yes. But you're the
And
specialist with the roasters.
Yeah, and this is where it needs to get combined, and then people can just
Works
get started.
well. Yeah, it's
So
been working well in the past. So thank you for that.
thanks, you're welcome. And so we go on just sending people over, giving you addresses.
Please
and
do
then
so.
we will do
We
that.
enjoy client campaigns, we enjoy having people over, getting to know people within the industry.
Perfect.
Please continue.
Well, thank you very much for that information that you gave, and of course, feel free to contact the ladies directly, and you will get all the answers that you need.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we heard how it will be done when we go to a green coffee trader, and of course there is many different traders you could turn to, many different people you could meet. The World of Coffee was a great event to do that, so you could just go around and meet everybody. But of course there's also addresses that we can provide, and sometimes it also does make sense to just be part of a coffee organization. Which one this could be for you, of course this is completely up to you. And also here, of course, we met somebody at the trade show at the World of Coffee, and we spoke to Bendix of the German Coffee Association, or Deutsche Kaffeeverband. And this is a video we're going to show you now.
Hi, today we are at the Probat booth, and we have a new guest at our side. It's Bendix from the Deutschen Kaffeeverband, so the German Coffee Association. And we wanted to know, because we always get the questions from our customers, what are the trends in the coffee market? Where is the coffee going? And I think you're the right person to answer this question.
Thank you. First of all, thanks for having me. Warm welcome to everybody from the World of Coffee from Copenhagen. Hi. Coffee market, yes, we see lots of roasters that are developing and I think exploring new things in their green coffee portfolios and blends that change in coffees due to availabilities. So price increasing is also a fact, and of course the end consumer is changing purchasing behavior. So that's what we see at the moment.
And of course, we also do get the question, especially from people being new in the business, where do they get contacts? Where do they get knowledge? Where could they just turn to? And of course, we always recommend that there's different associations that you can go to, but we do know you also have special things that you can offer those customers, right? So could you say something to that, please?
The first thing we offer are some small events like seminars for beginners in the industry. So you can come to us and you get a nice view from, I think, green coffee and growing coffee, over roasting, of course, and we end by extraction and espresso coffee and filter coffee. So everything in between, complete range, everything in between. So you get a nice overview about what's happening in coffee. Here maybe as well, I can mention, of course, you can come to our events. Some events are for members, some are open for non-members. So the community itself and the German Coffee Association is very big. So you can get perfect contacts for starting. And then, yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Growing industry.
So, what is the hottest topic at the moment in the Deutsche Kaffeeverband?
Of course, it's the legislation. So I'm talking about EUDR. Yeah, I think everybody who's working in coffee has its brain and head full with EUDR topics. So we have to do a lot as well. We do things in politics, and of course we're developing tools for our members to implement all the things you have to do for the EUDR. That's what we do at the moment.
And of course, we do have a lot of customers being internationally, and of course, German Coffee Association. Do I actually have to be German or Germany-based to be a member of the German Coffee Association?
No, you don't. We actually have many members internationally, so you don't have to be German.
And I think at the moment, you're having really a good time right now. Is that true or not? Ah, I see you smile. Okay.
Yes, we had a new record I think, for 2 months ago because of EUDR. So many companies come to us and become members of the German Coffee Association because of our tools, because of the knowledge we can give. So we are increasing our members, and yeah, we're very, very happy with it.
It's fine. You can go.
So I think this was quite a good insight on what the work is of the German Coffee Association. And thank you for joining us, and see you again.
And whenever, of course, you need to get some information or you need to have knowledge, don't be afraid. Contact those people. They are there for you. They give you the right insight. And, well, with this, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, very nice. I think it was. It should be pointed out, really pointed out, how helpful it could be if you turn to an association like the German Coffee Association. If you have questions on, for example, legislative aspects. For example, how do I label my coffee bag? What needs to be on the label, like weight of the coffee? When do I have to label if there's Arabica, 100% Arabica inside, Arabica Robusta blend, yeah, things like that. And also all questions regarding the new EUDR legislative can be addressed there quite good.
Yeah, yeah, and of course also for getting more knowledge. That's what Bendix just said. That's also something that you could get from other organizations. So they all have workshops, they all have contact to people who do know more, and they all have seminars, workshops, and whenever you need anything, you can just register for these workshops and then just get some more insights. Yeah, yeah. And of course, if it comes to coffee roasting and deciding on the greens, a lot is very personal. And of course, we cannot tell you now exactly, okay, if you have this bean, you should treat it like this if you want to get a very sweet espresso cup from it. This is all super duper depending on the roasting style, on the philosophy, on the coffee, everything that comes with it. So we can only recommend you whenever you feel that there's something that you need to know, just turn to us. And of course, in terms of green beans, turn to the green coffee people. That's the one that know the best.
Yeah,
yeah,
correct.
For sure, big thank you to all of our partners that have been there with us at the World of Coffee. You heard it was not sometimes so easy with the sound, but I think we got some great information. Of course, we did meet some great people, and yeah, especially when you starting up your business. Me personally, I completely do recommend go to the World of Coffee and just meet these people, and then you will feel very easily that you can turn to them with no matter what question. So yeah, we did
not
have
only
a
at
lot
the
of
World
fun.
of Coffee, you can also call them, just call them, email them.
Yeah.
I think they will have answers to your questions.
Yeah, perfect. but this is actually for me kind of the place where you can like meet everybody in one place. Right. Unfortunately, only once a year, and every year someplace else. But yeah, I really did enjoy it, and I really had fun to do these videos together. So yeah, thank you guys that you did that with us. And
but don't forget, if it's about roasting, come
yes,
to us.
Of course. That's a great comment. And we checked in the meantime the chats. So far there is no question that we can see, but of course also here there's always the chance, as Ivana just said, just contact us directly and we are happy to answer all of the questions that you have. Is there anything that we forgot to say? No.
From my side,
not for today.
not for today, yeah.
Good. So yeah, we say thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here with us again. And yeah, I would say
Thank you.
thank you and
See you
next
next
time. Exactly.